What's good, y'all, man? We back with another video, man. How y'all doing? Great today, man. Today we got 10 craziest moments in NFL history. Um, yeah, bro. Self-explanatory. If we get into the video and see what happened, man. Right now we got some nigga with a onesie on the field. I guess it's a fan doing some goofy shit. I don't know. Get into the video.
These are the craziest moments in NFL history.
What?
It was
Oh,
November
jump.
22nd, 2012. Mark Sanchez versus Tom Brady. And with over 20
Mark Sanchez
million
versus
people
Tom Brady.
watching this prime-time Thanksgiving matchup, the unthinkable happened. Because on this play, Mark Sanchez tried to scramble up the middle and collided with Moore's rear end so violently that the ball came flying out of his hands.
Ain't no way, bro.
The fumble was returned
That's so
by
crazy.
the Patriots for a touchdown. Now that's humiliating.
Wow.
But what's
It real,
even more
very.
humiliating is the Falcons' loss against the Patriots in Super Bowl 51. Trailing 28-3, it seemed almost
Everybody know about that,
inevitable
boy.
that the Falcons were going to win. That was
Trash ass Falcons, bro.
Brady
Trash
stepped into the
Falcons,
second coming
bro.
of Jesus. Despite trailing by 25, the
Trash
Patriots
Falcons,
marched
bro.
back to tie the game by the end of regulation. From there,
I still can't believe
it
this,
was all
bro.
but over once overtime started. However, the moments
make
are
no
only
sense,
going
boy.
to get
The
crazier
world?
from here. And you don't even want to know what Antonio Brown did. But first, let's talk about the time an NFL game was interrupted. Cowboys versus Giants. And with less than 6 minutes remaining in the first half, a black cat ran into the middle of the field. Moments later,
What is the cat
made
doing
its way
out there?
from the 50-yard line to the end zone, becoming the first cat in NFL history to score a touchdown. God damn, what has our world become? Now, this brings us to Browns and the Jaguars. And when Tim Couch completed a short pass to Quincy Morgan for the first down. However, the referees ended up overturning the call, which pissed fans off. So much so, they even started to throw beer bottles and trash cans on the field.
Oh nah,
That's
bro.
a sight to see.
Oh
But
nah,
fans
bro.
are
I think I
causing
remember this.
chaos. Just ask
I think I've seen a video on that
security
before.
guards. From taking down streakers to kicking out crazy fans, security guards are put in some difficult situations. This includes
Man, tweaking.
physical temptation.
A security guard at Sunday's Chargers game masturbating in
Hey,
front
yo.
of families
What?
and feet from the Chargers cheerleader.
Tonight, police are
What a world, bro.
investigating because that's
Nigga being John in front of man. Real.
security guard could face a charge of lewd act in public. The video pans back and forth between the security guard and the Chargers girls who were just feet away.
What?
The guard with his hand down his pants for several minutes masturbating. The
Man,
woman
ain't no
also told
way,
him
ain't
to
no
try to
way,
do it again
bro.
around halftime, but someone yelled, "Get your hands out of your pocket."
But thankfully, the security
Ain't
guard
in their
came
pocket,
in
man. Ain't not in the
by
pocket.
telling people to subscribe to the channel. Anyhow, this brings us to the time when Antonio Brown thought he was on Impractical Jokers. See, the Bucks were trailing in the second half to the New York Jets. So naturally, Bruce Arians asked Antonio Brown to enter the game. But Brown refused to re-enter the game, and Arians cut him on the spot, which obviously
What?
didn't
Oh yeah,
go
I remember
well
that
with
song,
AB,
bro. I remember
because
that
the next
song.
thing fans saw was a shirtless Antonio Brown
All they
sprinting
did
off
was
the
just
field
goddamn-
while holding up the peace sign. Kudos to Mike Tomlin
Damn,
for putting
bro.
up with this diva for 9 years. On that note, let's appreciate the
And, like,
Eagles
Antonio
and
Brown's
Bears
still
for
a
putting
good
up
receiver,
with the
bro.
1988 Fog Bowl. And man,
1988.
it was worse than wearing drunk goggles, because even meteorologists will tell you that this was the equivalent of having clouds on the ground. However, both teams toughed
They
the
still
weather out,
played?
and the Bears ultimately prevailed 20-12. To sum it up,
Nah,
it
bro, that's-
will be
that's weird,
remembered
bro.
as the best game you never saw. And
Look how
football games,
no,
it's
bro.
almost
No, bro.
impossible to rewatch Super Bowl 25 if you're a Bills fan. Because with time expiring, the Bills had the opportunity to become Super Bowl champions for the first time in franchise history. All they had to do was drain a 47-yard field goal. And
Man, game.
sadly, it proved to be the latter. Scott Norwood's kick went wide right, and the Giants became Super Bowl champions
man.
instead, leaving Bills fans in absolute disbelief. Now let's move on to an immaculate
I
reception.
mean, it's football though.
It
You
was an
can't. You know what I'm
AFC
saying? It's
divisional
football, bro.
playoff game between the Raiders and the Steelers. And with 30 seconds left and a 7-3 lead, it seemed all but certain that the Raiders would prevail. However, the Steelers still had one more drive, and Franco Harris wasn't about to let them lose. Because on the game-deciding drive, Terry Bradshaw threw a pass to John Fuqua, which bounced off Fuqua's hands and went straight into the hands of Franco
Wow,
Harris.
that's
Then
crazy,
the next
bro.
thing fans saw was
That's
Harris
not
running with the
crazy,
ball
bro.
into the end zone. What a legendary
Yeah, that's crazy right
play.
there.
To date,
He didn't even mean to
don't
do this.
have
He was
camera footage to know if the ball hit the ground before Harris's catch. And while this was the craziest
No way,
play in
bro.
NFL history, next up we have the craziest trade in NFL history.
Craziest
Because
trade.
this trade was a catalyst to one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history, the 90s Cowboys. It's known as the Herschel Walker trade. The trade revolved around the
Herschel
Pro
Walker
Bowl
trade.
running back Herschel Walker, who rushed for more than 1,500
Oh my
yards in
God.
1988. Subsequently, Walker was shipped to a Vikings team who believed they were one piece away from a Super Bowl. Only Walker's services didn't come cheap. It ended up costing the Vikings 5 players in 6 draft picks.
Dang.
The Cowboys then turned
5
these
players,
into
bro?
multiple cornerstone
And
pieces,
6 draft picks.
such as Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland, Kevin Smith, and Darren Woodson. And as a result, they went on to win the Super Bowl 3 times in a 4-year span from
3
1993
times.
to
Like,
1996.
I ain't never heard nobody like.
The Vikings weren't so lucky. Walker only lasted 2.5 seasons with purple and gold, without hitting the 1,000-yard rushing mark once. On top of this,
Nah, Herschel Walker, those
Vikings
people got
went
anything
from
right,
the
though.
NFC Championship and the
Yeah.
divisional rounds the 2 years prior to only making the playoffs once in Walker's tenure. It
Randy.
doesn't get much worse than that. Well, except for one other time. Because it's one thing to make bad moves, but it's another not to make moves at all. You see, it was
Me.
2003
No way
and
moves
the
at all.
Vikings held the coveted 7th overall pick. Only when the draft got to their turn, they were slow at the trigger. So much so that they missed their pick altogether. Imagine spending
Oh, yeah.
billions of dollars to run a football
Oh,
team and
yeah.
hire scouts, and you can't even make your pick in time. But
Ain't no way,
luckily,
man.
it all worked out in the end. After the Jaguars and Panthers also beat the Vikings to the punch, the Vikings were finally able to get their act together and select future Pro Bowl offensive lineman Kevin Williams. Phew! Now that's a sigh of relief. Surely it's a one-time blunder, right? Wrong. Fast forward 8 years to 2011 and the Vikings missed their pick again. Tell me that isn't crazy. But not as crazy as these shoes. These cleats that
That's
got a
not
player
crazy,
fined
man.
$50,000. And I know you
50K
want to hear
is
more about
crazy,
that.
bro.
So just click this video right here.
Hey man, bro. I guess that was crazy moments in NFL history, bro. You got fans running on the field. You got fans throwing beer bottles on the field. You got fans just doing a whole lot of wild, crazy stuff, bro. But man, hope you got that video, man. And yo, bro. See y'all tomorrow, man.